All right, there we go. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody watching. And Michael
Right.
Brown, sir, thank you for joining us here. Glad to have you. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And so we got connected
No problem.
through Andre Norman, who I'm usually doing these chats with, and we call this series "How to Have Difficult Conversations About Race." So feel free in our conversations. You can bring up any
Uh,
topics you want. Things that are difficult. That's no problem. And I just wanted to ask quickly, how are you and Andre connected? How did you get to know each other?
I met Andre Norman back in 2014, 15, 16. Sorry about that. I met him at an event. Um, it was the event that these this group of people had brought the family out to basically exploit and get paid for. And Andre caught it, and
Hmm.
he put the brakes on it, and he introduced himself to us, and we've been okay. We've been all right since then.
All right, yeah,
Uh,
that's a long time, 2015. And so, if there are people who are watching who maybe aren't so familiar with your story, what do you want people to know about you and about your son, Michael Brown Jr.?
well, definitely that he was an 18-year-old that graduated from school, finding his way. He was a human. He was humanized by the way the public and the news put him out there, like he was just this animal, and that didn't have they didn't have anyone to love him, or he was just out here just running wild,
Hmm.
And we definitely just want to just let people know that he has a father that loved him. He actually stayed with him. He was just at his grandmother's house today. The time that he had passed, he was on his way to technical school, Ballarat at that time, to learn a trade on HVAC. So he was moving forward,
Hmm.
and sadly his life was taken. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a tragic story that got national attention. One of the highest profile police killings of the past decade. And that's one of the reasons we're talking now. Is that sadly it's still very relevant to things that are happening at the current time. So I think you were interested in having this conversation, and Andre connected us. So why are you deciding to continue to engage with the public at this point in time? What are you hoping to achieve?
Well, definitely, just keeping the world aware of what's going on.
Mm,
Because some people see these things and then they just go to sleep, basically.
mhm,
Sadly, that these things are continuing, like you said, being the face of the people, and letting people know that I won't stop, no matter if Mike don't ever get justice. I will always help other families try to get justice, and I will always keep my voice out there to let the people know that they do have someone that's fighting for them. So that's just the position that I've been thrown in. I have grasped hold to. So
mhm. And what is continuing to fight for justice look like? How are you using that time? How are you choosing what to prioritize?
well, definitely. I have a program called Chosen Fathers. So I get around a lot of the fathers that's been affected by this
Mm,
police terror. We have conversations. No disrespect to the woman, because people always reach out to the woman, but we
mhm,
we are supposed to just take and be able to take it, because we supposed to have tough skins, but we hurt too. So I stay engaged with these fathers, and coming up with different type of movements to just stay out there in the forefront. Sadly, we have people with different organizations come in and sabotage or take the movement and make money off of our pain, and it's just best for us to stand up in the forefront to let people know that we haven't gave up, and we're still going to fight for justice for us all.
mhm, mhm. Gotcha. Um, So, as I'm sure you're aware, last week, the news broke around the non-convictions of the police who killed Breonna Taylor. Um, what is your vision of how police killings, like in the Breonna Taylor case or in your son's case, should be addressed? In your ideal vision, what happens in the aftermath of an event like that?
Well, definitely, we all want justice for what happened. Um, we definitely have to get some type of laws put in place to protect the people and not the officer. Um, and until we do that, we will continue to have this situation going on. And two, as people, we have to start uniting too. We got to unify, because we do have senseless other things going on too. And I feel like if the people that's supposed to be patrolling or supposed to serve and protect see that we don't care about each other, why should they?
Hmm. 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 Yeah. Um, I was doing some research before our talk, and it looks like a person named Wesley Bell is the district attorney. They're prosecuting the case again, and Jason Armstrong is maybe the new police chief in Ferguson. And I was wondering, to whatever extent you want to, if you have any um, like comments or views on how the police situation has changed in Ferguson over the last 4 or 5, I guess 6 years at this point. What change has happened so far, and what do you still hope will change in the future?
But definitely, the way they've been policing the area, um, it's not you're not getting stopped by being black or being stopped by being um, a certain look. I would
Hmm.
say that, and the tickets, just flagging people, just pulling people over for uh, silly things and harassment. I
Hmm.
will say a lot of those things has came to an ease,
Hmm.
but there's still some work to be done over there. There's people that still are afraid. You still have officers that's on the force that's a bad apple.
Hmm.
He's slowly getting those people out of the out off their team. And like I say, it's a process. It's a process. It's definitely a process.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And going forward, are there you mentioned, trying to maybe pass different laws that put more responsibility in police for what their actions, what they do, what they cause. Um, do you have any sort of specifics on that, or any other kind of particular measures that you're supporting or hopeful for?
Definitely pushing the vote situation.
Hmm.
We have
Yeah.
to get out and vote.
Hmm.
People that we get in these office, in the in those spaces, they cannot be scared to voice their opinion. Um, we have a lot of people that has shown that they would do the work, and then they get the position and they don't do the work.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
definitely, we have to have people that's in there that want to see change, uh, want to be part of change, and to be for the people.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, do you have any comments? Basically, some people have called it the uprising, kind of this broader traction that the movement for Black lives, for Black equality has gained since the killing of George Floyd. Um, do you have any comment on that, sort of in these past few months, what that's looked like from your perspective versus maybe how it was at all different from the years leading up to it?
This basically was the same. All the wounds had reopened because I can feel for the family that was affected by losing their son or or brother, cousin, whoever was there. We had went to Ground Zero where it happened at in Minnesota. I spoke with the people. I did some speeches. I engaged and prayed with the people. And then I came back home, and then we had left back out to go to Houston for the funeral, and the one that was in Houston, where his hometown was,
Yeah.
and the energy was just all over the place.
Hmm.
You know, it was a sad situation. Being around a lot of those families that came out. I wasn't the only family that came out from losing a child. So just to be connected with and seeing like different artists, you had Jamie Foxx,
Hmm.
Neo came through, the football players, and they were understanding on what is really happening. So just being there with the people and getting that energy and knowing why I still fight and do what I do,
Hmm.
it was just wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty monumental event, and the follow up to that, being involved in that, I'm sure was really, probably very affecting for someone who's had that same thing happen to him in the past, as the family. Um, so basically, just a little broader context, we're here to have difficult conversations about race, to say what really needs to be said. And um, right now, a lot more white people have kind of joined this cause, and have kind of woken up to the um, injustices, and are, really have it staring them in the face a lot more, and are motivated to help, and have the ability to help in certain ways, in the wake of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, etc. So there's a few different audiences there. There are protesters, people who are motivated to go out and protest. There are non-protesters, people who want to act in other ways, who are, motivated to help but don't want to protest for one reason or another. People who are maybe sympathetic but not really engaged, not really doing anything directly. Um, so for all those people who care about this cause but are maybe at different levels, um, we're looking to people like you in particular, who have been affected directly by police violence, for guidance and for an understanding of what your vision, your ideal outcome would be, in the current political landscape, and visions for the future. So maybe let's take one group at a time. Like for people who are protesting, what would you have to say to them, as far as making their efforts, effective, sustainable, in alignment with the right values? What do you have to say to that group of people?
Definitely, I will first off say thank you, for standing up and understanding. Secondly, we do have some protesters out there that don't know how to protest. Um, and I would say you have to find your line. Everybody is not able to stand in front of the police officer and speak their voice. You have some people that are able to go in these offices, places, and have these conversations. You have people that's able to use the computer better, for more resources. So definitely just find your place, because some people are out there and they're kind of lost, and they don't know they don't know actually what to actually do. So um but yeah, I just tell them just find your place, and long as it all connects back to protesting and helping people get resources on how to change laws, what to put in the what to put out there, have meetings, do different actions. I'm all for it. It's just they just have to. I've been seeing this organized things, but overall, the wonderful thing that they're standing up for injustice, and seeing that a lot of these things that are happening are wrong.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And what about to that group of people who are maybe sympathetic, are, that they want the cause to succeed, but they're having a hard time engaging, having a hard time finding their place, sticking with this, doing anything actually of substance? What advice would you have for that group of people?
Definitely, just like I said, they just have to find their place. And two, engage with people that are understanding or can understand what you're feeling. because you have a lot of people that just don't, like you say, just don't know what to do, but they're not around people that's trying to make change.
Hmm.
They just know that this is wrong. They just don't know what to do,
Hmm.
you know. So uh, a lot of people just have to engage in with those those conversations that are very uncomfortable, and come up with a plan.
Mm.
Come up with a plan and execute it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll put a couple resources
Mhm.
along with this video description things. Um, there's an organization primarily aimed at sort of helping white people engage with racial justice issues called Surge. Um, and there's another tool that my group has made at Stanford in the Behavior Design Lab to help match people with specific behaviors that help the general cause of racial justice. If people don't know where to start, do you have any particular organizations or anything that you would also want me to put there as far as resources or ways for people to follow up, or and especially anything that would be a good place for people to send donations to?
Okay. Uh, we're definitely the michaelbrown.org. We're at the michaelbrownfoundation.org. Um, we are definitely on Twitter, um, Facebook, up under the Michael Brown Chose for Change Foundation. They can follow us on all the work that we do. Um, and this is why we're having these conversations, because we are trying to come up with a name where we all can be involved in
Mm.
doing some positive things and giving back. So I'm working with Andre Norman right now, and he's coming up with some names, some different things. And we are going to collide and tie it all in. So we'll figure out some different other sources that we can come up with too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so michaelbrownfoundation.org, and we'll also look for you on Twitter.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Um,
mm-hmm,
I guess, out of everything that you see people doing, um, all the sort of spectrum of engagement, of protest, of working on the legal side of things, donating, etc. Do you have any sense of like what the most effective ways of contributing to racial justice in America are?
um, just keeping the people that's already in play, that wants change. You know, I tell people all the time, it's not cheap to try to fight for justice now. We still have to,
Yeah.
we still have to be able to, get to different cities, get other people, that we have, on board where they be able to travel to, because it's just not here in Missouri. It's all over.
Yeah.
So just to figure out some type of plan of how we can just come up with something to uh, make it more effective.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Um, I don't know if you have any questions for me or anything before we kind of wrap things up. I maybe have one or two more questions.
Uh, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
I'm,
So then basically to wrap up, what do you want to leave people with from our conversation? From the horrific events that you've had to go through, what you've seen happen in the past 6 years. What do you want to leave people with? What's your message for them?
but definitely, well, since 2014, we've been on the ground, doing the work, doing give backs and different things like that. I want to let the people know that I will not stop fighting for justice. You know, this was something that actually I was told to by my mother. She told me when I was a child I was going to be a preacher or a teacher. I ran from it. I thought I had my own way, and then sadly this happened, and now I have no choice.
Mm,
But it's almost like she knew already in the beginning, my path. So this is something I can't run from. This is something that I have dedicated everything that I have in my soul to, and I'm 10 toes down, running.
Yeah.
I'm running with justice.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing that work. You're clearly putting a huge effort into this, and it's something that, is going to benefit other people, benefit hopefully generations to come as we make progress in this broader movement.
Mhm.
And, as big and messy and complicated as it is across the whole country, I'm really glad that
Mhm.
we can be having these conversations, that you can be doing the sort of work that you're doing. And if there's anything else, that I can be helpful with, or anything you want me to share, um, through my, my little message groups and things like that, just let me know.
I definitely will. Definitely
All
will.
right.
And thank
Yeah, good.
you.
Well, we'll probably leave it there then. Thank you so much, everybody watching. This has been Michael Brown Sr. and me, Stephen Crane, on how to have difficult conversations about race. And thanks again, Michael, and I hope your rest of your day goes well.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.